Prime Minister to be addressing the chief ministers from all over the country. That is the latest development amidst West Asia war, and to prepare for what could be a fallout of this long-haul war. The Prime Minister Narendra Modi is going to chair a crucial review meeting. He is going to be attending this virtual meeting and interaction with chief ministers in a short while from now. This meeting has been planned to assess India's preparedness amidst the ongoing conflict. The meeting aims to coordinate a unified national response strategy across states, focusing on energy security, safety of Indian residents in the Gulf region, as well as preventing panic buying and hoarding of LPG cylinders. It is extremely crucial that center and states are on the same page when it comes to battling this crisis. After that all-party meeting, after which Parliamentary Affairs Minister Kiran Rijiju made it clear that the opposition has said that they stand in unity with the government. Pragya, now we have the Prime Minister himself taking stock of the situation and speaking with chief ministers from across the country except for the poll-bound states.
Absolutely, and our democratic system is a federal system, and this is exactly the reason why cooperation of state is a must in order to ensure that there is no panic buying across the country. And this is exactly the reason why Prime Minister has called this meeting, this virtual meeting of all the CMs, to ensure that also to assure them that there is no going to be a deficiency of LPG. There is a mechanism that has been set by center to distribute LPG, be it commercial or domestic, and also the quota of those who abide by norms and conditions and also fulfills the requirement by the center. Their quota has also been increased by 10% for the commercial LPG. For that, notification has also been issued. Prime Minister is also going to ensure them about the kind of energy procurement that the central government is doing, and also assuring them that any help that they would be needing from the center is going to be given to them. It's just that they have to check the hoarding and also the black marketing of LPG gas, especially that is, and also to ensure and keep a check on the rate of petrol and diesel. Himachal has already increased, has already decided to increase 5 rupees on petrol and diesel, and this is also be an appeal made by Prime Minister to ensure not to do that. And also the fact that there is an excise cut to give some kind of relief to oil companies. This will also be an assurance to states that the prices will not be going to be levied on consumers. State governments can be very assured about that. Apart from that, those which are election-bound states, they are not going to be included because everyone knows their campaign and obviously the nomination process. It's very hectic schedule. But the chief ministers is going to be in touch with the cabinet secretariat, and they will be briefed about the measures that have been taken by center and also what center expects them to, the duties that they need to perform, and also other states as well.
Right. To put things in context for our viewers, the states, the chief ministers of which are not going to be attending are poll-bound states. That is because there is a model code of conduct that is in place in those states. For those states, a separate meeting is going to be held where chief secretaries will be interacting through the cabinet secretary from the center, and that is how they are going to coordinate whatever steps need to be taken. But before this meeting, Pragya, we have seen different kind of reactions coming in from the opposition. The biggest news of the day obviously has been the step that has been taken by the center in order to cushion both the consumer as well as the oil manufacturing companies. Are we expecting the chief ministers, particularly those from opposition-ruled states, to raise questions about that as well?
Well, one thing is for sure, all the state chief ministers know that it is they who are in command of law and order situation, and also they are the caretaker of the state government. And this is exactly the reason why we had seen cooperative federalism flourishing on many such forums, including GST, where each finance minister also has a say and can vote and also can put a veto. And this is exactly the reason why Prime Minister is speaking to all these chief ministers. So for chief minister of a state, there are options whether to go with the politics of the party or to ensure welfare of the state. obviously many of the chief ministers are going to follow the letter, which is they need to see what is the state that is getting out of it, whether there is any sort of help, any sort of supply of gas, energy, whatever they need from the center, any extra quota. They may put demand, in front of the Prime Minister. But having said that, it looks like that all are going to listen to Prime Minister on this particular situation, because this is, this is not of India's making. This is not in India's hand, and every other country is reeling under, this energy crisis. Fortunately, for the measures that we had taken and also the diplomatic channels that we had opened with other countries to get energy procurement, that has borne fruit, and this is exactly the reason why we don't go for the measure of odd even in our of vehicles in our country yet, and we do not have offs also on given to certain colleges, certain schools, etc. So in a way, this is also every chief minister would also want the state to run smoothly without any sort of crisis coming on to them.
All right, and the centre has been ensuring that via their ministers, the message is clearly sent across, whether it is petrol, diesel, LPG or fertilizers. While there is crisis across the world, and India, while it is not a part of this war, is also bearing the brunt. The message that is being sent across repeatedly and continuously is that India is prepared for any eventuality. In fact, speaking at Times Now Summit, Agriculture Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan said that one cannot predict what is going to happen tomorrow, and while one cannot say whether prices of things will increase or not, but he said that there is a special group of ministers that has also been constituted to ensure that plans are in place to tackle whatever is the looming emergency, because given the uncertainty that is upon us globally, we do not know how long is this haul that we are into going to be. Now, Pragya, when it comes to political wars, the second biggest point, the flashpoint between the government and the opposition has been certain leaders like Mamata Banerjee, one of the chief ministers who will not be attending the meeting today, coming out and saying that the intention of the centre is to impose lockdown. We heard Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, Union Parliamentary Affairs Minister Kiran Rijiju and multiple leaders from BJP as well as officials from the Petroleum Ministry coming out and saying there have been no discussions of a lockdown. There is not going to be any lockdown. We are not in that situation yet. Tell us about the steps that the government has taken in terms of information dissemination and countering fakery.
Well, first and foremost is the interministerial briefing that has happened. In fact, the secretaries have made it very clear that there is not going to be a lockdown. That is not an option. In fact, the statements have come from many senior cabinet ministers as well, including Ms. Nirmala Sitharaman. Dharmendra Pradhan, for that matter, has come on record, and also Kiran Rijiju, Parliamentary Affairs Minister. So that also ensures and also shows the intent of the government that there is no sort of lockdown that is in the pipeline, or at least there is no plan of having lockdown. This is exactly what government is time and again emphasizing. Unlike other countries where people have been told to come one day alternatively, or there are odd and even measures in place, India is not facing that problem. We are very sure of the stock that we have, and we believe that we are going to work this out by rationalizing our energy resources, and that is why Prime Minister also knows that this is a concerning situation right now, worrisome situation right now across the world, not just for India, and this is why he is also seeking support from the opposition and also speaking to the chief ministers of these states. We also understand there are elections in place. We also understand there are politics going around there, but to fear-monger on such a thing that impacts the life of common man is unwarranted, and this is exactly what the government is saying right now. Please don't spread panic. There is no shortage. We are ensuring that each and every household gets LPG. The commercial establishment get LPG, and also there are few sectors and industries for which 20% of the quota has been earmarked, for the gas and supplies and petroleum products. Such is the intent of the government that has been, in fact, communicated to the chief of the state, which is chief minister. If you are not willing to listen to them and spread panic, then government has no option but to keep on clarifying and explaining. people will
It
eventually...
has also said that at one point it will go beyond explaining and clarifying, and we might have to consider punitive actions as well. For our viewers, let's play out what Finance Minister Narendra Modi has said while dismissing any talks about a lockdown.
गलतफहमी फैला रहे हैं लोग कुछ नेतागण कि दे विल बी लॉकडाउन। कोई लॉकडाउन का गुंजाइश नहीं है भारत देश में। ये गलतफहमी फैलाना छोड़ना चाहिए नेतागण। बेसलेस रूमर मॉन्गरिंग और जनता के मन में एक भय फैलाने के लिए कुछ भी कह दो। कहां हो रही है लॉकडाउन का? पाकिस्तान में हो रही है, ना कि इंडिया में।
Like I said earlier, Mamata Banerjee was one of those leaders who said that the centre's intention seems to be to impose lockdown. The word itself brings back memories of COVID era. Everyone knows the kind of memories it brings back of the kind of horrors that we have had to face, but she wasn't the only one. There was also Sanjay Rawat who said this.
और जिस तरह से सरकार में जोरदार हलचल चल रही है, तो लगता है मोदी जी फिर एक बार 10-15 दिन के लिए डीजल और पेट्रोल की बचत करने के लिए लॉकडाउन लगा सकते हैं।
All right, those are the leaders who are speaking outside on public platforms to media and conveying their opinions. We will wait and see if information comes out from that closed huddle between the Prime Minister and virtual interaction between chief ministers of the states. If opposition-ruled states, CMs in particular, have several questions that they want the Prime Minister to address, if there are requests being placed from the centre for the states against hoarding or crackdown on panic-mongering, all those details on the other side.